Hi there. We are back. You know, I think the reason I do this whole show, Ray, you have to know, is because of the people who Dove and I meet on our show. There are people who have lives that are well lived. And sometimes that saying went to someone after they were dead, oh, they lived lives that were well lived. But that's not always true. The main part about it is that people who are living lives well lived, I like much better. Because that means that those people are doing something for the world. And I think that's what's important, especially with my entertainers. Today we have a gentleman, Claudio. How do you pronounce that? Claudio?
Claudio.
Claudio Ray Aversa.
Correct.
Charming gentleman, as you can see. And we first met, I think we were judges at a contest.
That's correct.
And when they asked us to be a judge, Chaplain Dove and I, we went, I don't know, I want to hear these people. No. You can hear them and judge at the same time. So we did. And when you came on, and I don't remember what you sang, but it was the way you sang that made me feel, wow, he really means what he's singing. He really putting his whole heart in it.
And he connected with the audience.
Right,
the
right
audience,
away.
Some people, I don't care how hard they try, they just don't make the connection.
Right.
And everyone stopped their little private conversations. There were a lot of people. And they just paid attention and they responded, they applauded. Can't ask for more than that as an entertainer.
And then I called you and said, I want you. So we have you sitting here. You were raised in Montebello, California.
That's correct.
You
yes.
were born here?
Yes.
Wow. Someone that was born in California?
Right.
Hello.
We knew there were at least two of you.
I know.
Yes.
Because no one is born. We're from Boston, so in a little town called Melrose. So we were definitely not born, here. Now, your parents were Italian immigrants.
Correct. Dad's born here.
Oh, he was.
But his father immigrated in 1905.
Wow.
And we're trying to determine if he made his first stop after Ellis Island to Boston or if it was New Jersey.
Wow.
So
when you say stopped at Ellis Island, my dad was born in Scotland. And he came over with his mother, father, and brother and sister, landed in Ellis Island. And it seems to me that was like the start of a whole completely different thing in the world, in the United States. Yeah. So many phenomenal people came over and built lives and had sons like you. And did you have siblings?
Yes. My oldest brother is a veteran of the Air Force, 22 years.
Wow.
My brother Donald, he's 74.
Okay.
Have a sister that is unfortunately deceased, my sister Sandra, and then my brother Gene Jr., who is 64, and then I'm the youngest at 57 years young.
A child. I'm sitting with a child. I don't believe it. Dove, Air Force.
Yes, I know.
I mean, Dove was in the Air Force, 4 years?
6 years, but then 57 years of chaplain, starting with the Air Force. I've never, you take off the uniform, but you don't stop serving.
Correct, yeah, I see.
Well, that's like, I met a Marine at some affair, and I said, and you're an ex-Marine, and he looked at me, and Dove looked at me and said, sweetheart, a Marine is always a Marine.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up. I have a daughter that served 4 years in the Marine Corps, so she has mentioned that.
We may be former Air Force, but she's a Marine.
Yes, she's a Marine.
I mean, isn't that funny when you say that? Well, thank her for her service.
Yes.
Now, what is she doing now?
She's a deputy sheriff for San Bernardino County.
Love it. So if we get into trouble in San Bernardino County, I'm calling on her. Now, how many children do you have?
3.
Okay, and what do they do? Now, I got one as a deputy.
I have a son that is 27.
Okay.
He's named after me. He's junior.
And what does he do?
He is trying to get past the MCAT to become a doctor and get into medical school.
Oh, wow.
So he's living with me right now.
Good.
My oldest daughter is in Newport Beach. And my youngest daughter is 16, attending high school in Eastville, and is a junior. And she sings also.
Really? I'd love to have her on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We can
I'd
talk.
be honored to
Yeah,
bring her.
let's talk about that, because this is a program that is intergenerational, and we just had a young lady on who was 10, blow you away with how how adult she was and talking and everything.
She has a voice. I'd like to say I may have had something to do with that.
Okay, we'll give you
Fatherly
okay.
pride.
I know,
Yes.
I love it. Now, how did you listened when you were young? It says to famous opera stars and all
Yes.
that. Tell us about the
Okay.
background.
Young age, 6, 7 years old. I'm playing with little toy model cars
Right.
in the living room. My dad is listening to all these great singers, from Mario Lanza,
Oh,
the great Caruso and Enrico
wow.
Caruso,
Pavarotti, I mean,
and a lot of Italian singers and Italian American singers like Vic Damone, El Martino, and I'm listening to all this, playing cars, and it's starting to maybe work its way to influence me.
Right,
Because I'm now
right.
listening to this music as I'm getting older.
Yes.
Of course, the 50s music, like Neil Sedaka,
Yes.
Bobby Darin, I was
Yes.
listening to them as well. And they influenced me. So I have a mixture of the singers from the 50s,
Right.
as well as singers of the late 40s and early 50s, Frank Sinatra as well.
as well as the, shall we say, the culture, they used to call it, of the opera world.
I think I was born too late. I should have been around
Probably,
in the
probably asked you to be able to
1950s.
sing that, right?
Yes.
So, then what happened? I mean, where did you go to school?
I grew up and attended school in Montebello.
Okay.
Also went to college at Cal Poly Pomona,
Oh.
which I got recruited to go into Army ROTC. I wanted Air Force, but there was UCLA was the closest one. The captain recruited me. Said we have plenty of helicopters, so that attracted me.
Oh, wow.
But when I found out I was too old, I lost an interest to continue. I realized I made a mistake. I should have stayed, but it was a proud feeling to wear that uniform of our great country.
Yeah.
I wore that uniform with pride, like I was wearing the American flag.
And again, how many years were you?
About a year.
About a year.
Yes.
Wow. And then you got married.
Yes, 2 years later,
Okay.
and had 3 wonderful kids.
I love it. I love it. So, where did you then pick up your singing again?
Well, I was a bit shy. It took
I'm
a while.
looking at you when you say that,
Yeah.
because we talked about it, and I said, you don't seem shy to me. I think
Yeah.
once you're into something, you
Yeah.
just forget about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, my dad had passed away in 1999. It was March of that year. And I would say about maybe 8 years later, visiting with some relatives, they had a public address system, better known as the PA mic,
Right.
and talked me into singing. I didn't want to do it. I felt a bit,
Oh, intimidated.
yeah, that, and a little nervous that,
Right.
I didn't have a sound. But boy, we were all surprised, and from
You
that
were
point
surprised.
on, I haven't stopped since.
I love it. I love
great.
it. What do you find that you gave your kids about music? I mean, they must be very proud of you. I
Yeah,
mean,
they are. Also, that it's a great outlet to relax and forget about whatever problems you're going through.
That's
And
what I feel.
I feel when I sing to an audience, I'm doing something positive to
Yes.
make them forget about whatever problems they're facing for that hour or that half hour. I'm doing something that makes them feel good. I did Riverside's Got Talent back in November of 2017. Probably the biggest crowd I've done, about 600 people in
Wow.
attendance. And the crowd just went crazy
Love it.
after I got done doing my song. My girlfriend videotaped from the back row, and she said, "You tightened up the age gap from the teenagers to the elderly."
Correct.
They were all swaying back and forth in the audience. And I saw the video, and I said, "Wow, I did something good."
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you
great.
you have a natural way about you that we saw, and not a lot of people have that way
Right.
to do things. So right away, it influenced my thought about your singing and everything, and I think singing. I think that brought you out of a shell.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, really, because you don't seem to. I mean, to me, you seem very confident, and I know what that can be like
Yeah.
as a little girl. Although I can't say that I was like that. I think from the day I was born, I was out there. I mean, that's just the way it was. But my sister was the opposite, similar to what you're talking about, and it does take courage to get up before an audience, no matter what.
Yeah.
Especially when you're performing. So you are also you're going to San Diego. You do that off and on to sing.
Yeah,
or-
they do have the Italian Fest,
Oh, okay.
and I've done that before. I plan on going back.
Good.
It's like one massive block party with a lot of Italians, but there's a lot of others there as
Right,
well.
Right.
And they put me on a big concert-style stage, and it was fun. Great sound
you were
system.
talking about getting a coach and everything. I think that would be a great way to go, because that
Yes.
way you could pick up some things that you don't already have that just
Sure.
makes it better. I think anyone can learn more, no matter what stage you're in. I just
Yeah,
do.
I agree.
And you're young, 57, you said?
57 years young. I'm on the second half of
57,
life.
67, 60, wait a minute, 67, 77, 87. I am 30 years this September elder. I'm not going to say older. Elder than you. I can't believe that.
You can believe it. We had the pleasure yesterday, we were down in Riverside, and there were some performers, and one of them sang the opera from Puccini, Nessun Dorma.
Oh.
Yes, very good.
And it was just totally amazing.
He comes from Palm Springs. His name is Prince Fleet Easton.
Fleet Easton,
And then we've had him on before.
he was given the title Prince by Prince,
Yeah.
with whom he appeared.
Wonderful.
And he does pop songs, he does everything, but when he starts doing opera, you don't expect that from
Right.
somebody who just did a popular song.
It was interesting.
It was great.
You were saying that you heard all these different genres of songs.
Yes.
What one influenced you, or which ones influenced you the most?
Well, there's at least three off the top that I could mention. Vic Damone, I thought,
Yeah.
was very smooth and a class act.
Right.
Bobby Darin,
Yes.
I like doing his style of music because he put a lot of excitement in his
A lot.
performance.
Right.
I thought Paul Anka
Oh, another
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
is,
Yes.
is a great influence placed on me. Great ability to perform. I've been in about 4 of his shows, writes his own music. And then, of course, now there's Michael Bublé. That is
Oh,
the
I
latest
love him.
thing. My girlfriend adores this man
I do too.
and is a big fan, so to please
We
her
all adore that
and stay
man.
on her good side, I sing some of his music. And Michael, if you're there, thank you.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yes,
Are you going to start singing like Michael Bublé to me?
I could.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Chaplain, I'll give you a hand. I'll even stand behind you, and you can move your lips, and I'll do the voice
There you
over
go.
I
for you.
love it. But now we don't have to. We're going to hear Ray Aversa right now. And now you're in for a great surprise. Ray Aversa. Take it away, my friend.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among those stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, I love you. Good night, my love. Pleasant dreams and sleep tight, my love. May tomorrow be sunny and bright and bring you closer to me. Before you go, there's just one thing I'd like to know. If your love is still warm for me, or has it gone old? If you should awake in the still of the night, please have no fear, for I'll be there. Darling, you know I care. Please give your love to me, dear, only. Good night, my love. Pleasant dreams and sleep tight, my love. May tomorrow be sunny and bright and bring you closer to me. Good night, my love. Pleasant dreams and sleep tight, my love. May tomorrow be sunny and bright and bring you closer to me. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my love. Good night, my love.
Thank Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! I tell you, everyone, lives well lived. Mr. Ray Aversa. We'll see you next time.
I'm gonna
God
have
bless.
my fling. I'm gonna live, live, live until I die. The blues I lay low, I'll make 'em stay low.